The 10 most incredible underwater finds. We aren't going to lie to you. Adventure is waiting for us in the depths of the vastest lakes and rivers, and as well as the sea, of course. The bravest explorers have unveiled a few of the secrets hidden in the depths, and we'll take you with us to some of the most mysterious places in the world. They are home to ancient relics, alien beasts, and odd findings that are still waiting for a decent explanation. So, let's dive in! Number 10. Tiwanaku Relics. The ancient Tiwanaku state predates the Incas, and it was one of the most influential civilizations of their time. The Tiwanaku were the leading force in the Andes between AD 500 and 900. However, their culture holds many secrets for archaeologists, and it's unknown to most people. They built a lively city close to the Titicaca Lake, which is the most important lake in Bolivia and the largest in America. Researchers recently struck gold when they found tons of relics in the depths of Lake Titicaca. Among them, they discovered precious gold medallions and shells. Additionally, they found stone artifacts with bones of sacrificed baby llamas inside them. Although it seems creepy for us, the discovery shed light about the Tiwanaku beliefs and their spiritual practices. Although, yes, we agree, it's horrible to sacrifice baby llamas. Number 9. Deathly Ice Finger. Ocean water is full of life, with many remarkable features. The first time we looked at the images of the ice finger, we couldn't believe our eyes. We can't be sure how the researchers felt who found it, but we know that scientists love riddles just as much as we do, and that they probably felt excited. Unfortunately, they love complicated words as well, and as soon as they found an explanation, they labeled this phenomenon as a brinicle. What does that mean? Well, a brinicle is an icicle made of brine, which is the saltier bit of ocean water. Ocean water freezes at the deepest and coldest parts of the ocean in this fantastic way. When the brine components are freezing, they swirl together, so they're a lot colder than the water around it. For this reason, the brinicle is very dangerous for nearby creatures. Number 8. Thonis. The Nile River is a natural marvel, and without any doubt, it's the most important and famous river in North Africa. Near its shores, ancient Egypt rose as one of the brightest civilizations of mankind. So it's not surprising that it keeps many secrets below its waters. During World War II, an RAF commander spotted ruins under the waters next to the mouth of the Nile. Later, he visited the site with an Egyptian scientist who found many artifacts, and it was then that they knew that they discovered the ruins of a legendary city, Thonis. Herodotus, a Greek writer, mentioned Thonis in his chronicles back in the 5th century BC. According to the legend, Heracles took his first steps there, and the Iliad characters Helen and Paris found refuge there when they ran away from his husband. Quite literally, Thonis was a place of legend. The city was built across linked islands. It was full of impressive monuments and religious statues, but it was standing on muddy soil, which eventually led the metropoli to its tragic end. On a horrid day of the 2nd century BC, a strong tremor turned the grounds of the city into liquid. Thonis collapsed and sunk into the depths, where it remained hidden for millennia. That is, until our impressive duo found it again. Number 7. The Chicxulub Crater. 66 million years ago, a cataclysm occurred that erased 3/4 of life on Earth. Arguably, this mass extinction event was the product of a giant asteroid that hit the planet, and there's a substantial body of scientific evidence that supports this hypothesis. In 1978, Antonio Camargo and Glenn Penfield discovered the Chicxulub crater, close to the Yucatan Peninsula. They weren't so sure about what they found, but more than a decade later, they'd found enough evidence to publish their conclusions. According to them, a considerable hit caused the immense Chicxulub crater. Additionally, the approximate date of the blast occurred within the mass extinction event that left the dinosaurs out of the picture. According to experts, a hit by a giant asteroid or comet of about 50 miles in diameter caused the immense crater. Well, not only that, of course. Within seconds, the blast created a mega tsunami over 330 feet tall, and an apocalyptic cloud of hot dust, ash, and steam. Additionally, it ignited the soil and the atmosphere around it, wiping out all life on Earth within a 3,000-mile radius. For decades, a huge cloud covered the planet, creating a greenhouse effect which changed everything for life on Earth. Sunlight, clean air, and water were not as abundant as they had been before the blast. And thanks to the work of Mr. Camargo and Mr. Penfield, we know more about these shocking moments than ever before our time. Number 6. Undersea rivers. Sometimes nature laughs at scientific categories. This time, the turn was for the river and the sea, which we understood as two completely different and separated bodies of water. And before discovering undersea rivers, we thought one couldn't flow into the other. Well, in the Black Sea, it seems Mother Nature has worked her fancy magic once again. Let us explain. The Mediterranean Sea is a lot saltier than the Black Sea, and the Bosphorus Strait connects them. In 2010, scientists discovered a stream of salty water flowing through this strait. It was so dense that it flows like a proper river with rapids and waterfalls, and it's so large that if it were on the surface, it would be the 6th largest river on Earth. As exciting as this discovery was, it led to a growing interest in other unconfirmed undersea rivers, which are out of our reach so far. One of them is in South America, and it flows out of the Amazon, even larger than the discovered under the Black Sea. Number 5. Loki's Castle. And no, we're not talking about a movie setting. The inspiration for the Marvel character Loki is a mythical Norse villain of epic proportions. Although he was a giant's son, he was able to deceive the gods. He collaborated with them a few times as well, but ultimately betrayed them in the most dramatic way possible. So when scientists found this hellish place at the bottom of the Atlantic, they thought of the infamous Loki. It's a complete system that releases boiling water from the insides of the earth into the sea. And although there are similar systems around the ocean, this one is of particular interest because of its location. It's the most northerly black smoker system found so far, and its position is pretty stable compared with others. Fun fact, the water that comes out of these vents can be as hot as 570 degrees Fahrenheit, yet tiny creatures called thermophiles can thrive in there, along with their slightly larger predators. Number 4. Mid-Atlantic Ridge. The ground below us is alive, but we only seem to notice when tremors and earthquakes happen. Tectonic plates are the giant moving pieces that form an enormous puzzle. The movements of these plates shape the continents, but most of the time they move very little, only a few millimeters each time, adding some space between them. This movement has created a ridge between two tectonic plates, and it's growing about 1 inch per year. Scientists call it the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and it's between North American tectonic plates and the Eurasian one. The ridge is visible on land or by scuba diving near Iceland. Looks like now we have another reason to include a trip to Iceland on our bucket list. Number 3. Simchug Canyon, Bering Sea. There are gaps, there are abysses, and as we recently discovered, there are undersea rivers. So let's go explore an underwater canyon. But believe us, it's not a regular canyon. It's the largest one on the planet, more profound than any other on the surface, and the largest submarine canyon in the world. It's more than half a mile deeper than the Grand Canyon, at 1.6 miles deep. This marvel is in the middle of the Bering Sea, stretching across more than 5,400 cubic miles. In fact, due to Simchug's immense size, it's impossible to see it whole from a close distance. The only way to process and understand the canyon visually is by looking at it from space. Number 2. The Great Blue Hole, Belize. If you love underwater discoveries as much as we do, you should watch Jacques Cousteau's work. A legend of undersea exploration, he transformed our view of the oceans. His work is widely documented as he became a TV star thanks to his show completely dedicated to the sea and the creatures that live in it. One of Mr. Cousteau's discoveries is the Great Blue Hole on the beautiful coast of Belize. Yes, it looks scary and deep, but that's why it's a magnet for daredevils from all over the world. This hole is 250 feet deep, which means it would swallow a 50-floor building without any problem. According to experts, the Great Blue Hole was once just a limestone cave, but that was hundreds of years ago. What do you think? Would you like to dive here? Now get ready for something incredible with today's best pick. Number 1. Underwater Spaceship. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's impossible not to look at this image without thinking of the Millennium Falcon. Well, intelligent life on other planets isn't such a crazy idea, but scientists haven't found any evidence that supports it so far. There are a lot of people who believe in aliens and would love to find that evidence sooner rather than later. For this reason, the image generated a wave of enthusiasm, as well as skepticism. The image is authentic, and it took a serious undersea exploration team to discover it. Yet the team involved was looking for something very different. The Swedish Ocean X team was seeking an ancient vessel with valuable relics and treasures, but instead they found a mysterious shape in the Baltic Sea bottom. Since 2012, scientists have been arguing that the image is showing a regular formation in the seabed. In turn, the Ocean X team has been insisting on collecting more data about the phenomenon. What do you think? Completely natural or something altogether foreign? Well, we sure enjoyed diving into these mysteries with you today, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow for yet another amazing video.